what a group of people this size would be capable of doing if we really did believe our sin was gone.
Anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep pecking away at it till we do. Everybody good?
Yes.
All right. I'm just going to get right into it. You've heard this verse. I say this all the time, but I'm just going to get in it a little more than normal. So, 2 Peter 1:2. I'm going to, grace and peace. I just opened my Bible just to make some of you feel better. I don't even. Grace and peace be multiplied to you through the knowledge of God and our Lord Jesus Christ. Grace and peace be multiplied to you through the knowledge of God and our Lord Jesus Christ. Now I think, you guys know I talk about grace all the time. And so I say grace is the goodness of God. It's grace. It means you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. You didn't achieve it. You didn't get good enough for it, right? It's not something you can earn or achieve, or it's grace. Really, the only qualification for grace is to be unqualified.
That's right.
Congratulations. You're all qualified. We're all qualified. The only qualification to receive grace is to be unqualified. If you're qualified, it has now become wages.
Yeah, that's right.
It's what you deserve. If it's right. So I think now, according to what he writes here, he said, "Grace and peace be multiplied." Now I'm thinking, how do I multiply something that I don't have anything to do with to begin with? How can I get more of it if I can't achieve it or deserve it? Or you follow me? You see how I'm thinking here? How do I get more of it if I didn't deserve it or didn't do something to get it to begin with? How can it multiply, right? He's saying grace and peace. Let me read you this one here. This is an Amplified. I like this. Amplified gives you some definitions. This is Amplified Classic, whatever that means. It's the old one. I like this old one. It says this: may grace, and then it defines grace as God's favor. May grace, God's favor, and peace. Now listen to this definition of peace, which is perfect well-being, all necessary good, all spiritual prosperity, and freedom from fears and agitating passions and moral conflictions.
That's good.
Yeah, that's what he means by peace, being multiplied. Be multiplied to you in the full, personal, precise, and correct knowledge of God and of Jesus our Lord. The definition of knowledge here is the full, personal, precise, and correct knowledge of God and of our Lord Jesus. So I'm saying grace and peace to be multiplied to us through knowledge of God, through knowing something. Knowing Him is how grace and peace is increased, multiplied. I said it's not achieved by what you do or I don't have to go over that. I've beat that for 9 years now. I'm saying it can be multiplied by what you know. Knowing something can increase grace and peace. It's like how I know it. See, now my opinion of God really, that it needs to be right. My opinion of God needs to be right. That's why we have to unlearn a lot of this stuff that man-made religion has taught us. We've got all these ideas about how we think God is, and we're supposed to trust this being that's also making us sick and breaking our baby's legs and all this stuff, right? And say we're supposed to run to Him, right? Sounds silly when I say it that blunt, don't it? But we've all believed that stuff. I'm saying it's important for us to have a right opinion of who God is, what God's like. And when you get to that, as I talked about last week, receiving His kind of love. Yeah. That's what transforms us. That's what changes us. Receiving His love. Well, you're not going to receive His love if you think He's a big old mean old guy with a white beard and a stick and He's just waiting on you to mess up so he can whack you. You're not going to have a love relationship with that kind of a deal. Come on, common sense. It's all right to bring your brains to church. Just think about some of this stuff we believe, you know. He's good.
Yes.
And so now all of God's favor is included in grace. So now by knowing, if I didn't know that he was a healer, if I didn't know, Wendell knew.
Yes.
Wendell got healed. If he didn't know, it'd be a different story right now, I'm convinced. I'm telling you, it's by knowing him. Paul said, just to know him. I'm telling you, your life can be changed by knowing him. I was thinking about, I heard a story one time, I had shared this in a long, long time, but I think it might have been Wayne Jacobson told this story, but I'm not sure, it's been too long to even say. But he told this story about his wife was a dog lover. And I mean, his wife was, that's like an understatement to even put it that way. She loved dogs. I mean, it was her life's ambition to make sure that a dog never suffered another day in its life, and she took care of them. I mean, was crazy over them, you know, and just took them all in, wouldn't matter, you know. She just loved dogs. And so he said he decided that when people in town when they wanted rid of their dog, you know, they take it out in the country and dump them. So he said, people in town, the distance that they felt like was far enough from town to dump them was exactly the distance to his driveway. They all showed up, you know. So she couldn't stand for them. She had to take care of them. She fed them and doctored them and just loved on them and took care of them and just you know, so much so one time one of his buddies said something like, "Oh man, my wife been treating me like a dog." He said, "Does your wife treat you like a dog?" He said, "I wish." She was crazy about dogs. I mean, and so he said, one thing he noticed, there are all these dogs around, right? He said, one thing I noticed, not every dog got the same treatment. Not every dog got the same treatment. How come? Well, some dogs, because of their experience and where they come from, they might lay out there in the ditch or under the bush and snarl at you and not come on in the house. Because some of those dogs had formed their opinion of what she was like by their experience of what they had experienced previously in other situations in time.
Yeah, come on.
Are you following me?
Come on.
They had an opinion of what she was like that was based on where they had come from or what experiences they had. Some other person had probably kicked them or stomped them or mistreated them or abused them in some way. And so they formed their opinion of what she is like, even though the truth is she would do anything to nurture them and heal them and bless them and give them what they need. Instead, because of their wrong opinion, not really knowing what she's like, they'd lay out there and do without. If they could ever come into the knowledge and the understanding that she's not like them.
Yes.
She's not like what we thought. And see that's happened. I'm talking to myself. We've believed stuff about him.
Yes.
He's been given a bad name and a bad reputation because we've based what we know about him through experiences or through circumstances or through they said or I've been taught this or this, you know, whatever denomination you grew up in or some kind of religion or lack thereof, either way. We've all believed stuff about God that's some dogs run right in the house, and I mean, they got fresh pork chop right off the stove and got flea baths and belly rubs and everything else. And man, their coats were shiny and they're doing good, you know. And then others laid out there under the bush, wormy and dried up and malnourished and, you know, hey, she's still good. She's still sneaking some food out there when they weren't looking and carry fresh water they could get when they thought she wasn't around or something. She'd take care of them, you know. She's wooing them in. She's winning them over. She'll do whatever it takes. She's patient. She'll eventually get her hands on them. I'm just saying, when we find out who He really is and what He's really like.
Yes.
See, I don't have to come up with some kind of program to convince you or snare you or sneak you or whatever else. If I can somehow just expose, pull the covers back on what He's really, you don't need nothing but to encounter and understand that He's good and that He loves us and that He wants good for us and He wants to undo all those scars that we got from previous circumstances and all this stuff we came from, and we got all this messed up thinking, we got all this stuff. I'm telling you, just knowing Him and being in His presence and coming right on in the house.
Yes.
Life is transformed. Life is transformed by coming right on in the house and just belonging to Him and having life with Him and being in His presence and letting Him bless you. I'm not, you know, this sounds self-centered or self-serving. I'm not saying it, I don't mean it to sound that way, but you can't help it be that way.
Yeah.
I'm saying we're not just in it to be blessed. I'm in it to know Him and have life with Him. That's what Jesus came for. We've reduced it down to, okay, say this prayer. Jesus came and died so you can go to heaven one day.
Come on, preacher.
Somebody's really going to squirm on this one, but the Bible never really even says that.
That's right.
He came so that we could get back to the Father.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is the way.
Yes.
Yes.
The way back to the Father.
Thank you, Lord.
That's over yonder too. I'm not saying there's none of that. I'm just saying it's now, here and now. We can have life with the Father.
Yes.
And because we have life with Him now, we're being transformed back into what we were originally intended to be. So now that I'm becoming that, I'm becoming like Him. I'm looking more like His Son every day. Like Father, like Son. Now, I'm becoming like Him. He's transforming me. He's pouring love into me so that now I understand and know that kind of love. And as I know Him, I become that. How much easier could it be? Now, I know there's a lot of negative naysayers that say, well, I ain't. But if I'm becoming more like God, aren't I getting healed?
Come on.
If I'm becoming more like God, aren't I blessed?
Yes.
See, I'm not saying that we're just going after blessing, we're just going after healing. But you can't snuggle up next to Him and get out on in the house and not get it on you. I'm telling you, He's good. And He's trustworthy. He's not like we've been told He's like. I'm telling you, biggest honor in life for me, biggest honor is to be able to stand. I'm just one of them old dogs standing out on the corner. Oh! Hey! He ain't like we thought. He ain't like we've been told. He's way better.
Yes. Yes.
We got to get that in here because subconsciously even we'll resist. I mean, we come to church here, there, yonder, wherever, don't matter. We can sing the songs. We can crack the book open and read it some, even pray. I'm saying to know Him. I'm saying to know Him. It's heartbreaking for me because I hear people, I mean, you know, they think you're a pastor or preacher, and I don't know that I'm even any of that. I just happen to have a microphone, and y'all keep coming and listening. That's all I know. But when people think that, then they talk to you, and they tell, and it amazes me. It amazes me how people dedicated to church, I mean the most popular ones. I mean the ones that everybody wants to go to, and hey, this is where I go, you know. They don't know God.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't have any idea what love really is. It's heartbreaking. I'm not saying they don't believe in Jesus. I'm not saying they're not going to heaven. I'm not saying they ain't been saved, born again. Not saying all that. I'm just saying what a shame to dedicate your whole life to going through these religious motions,
Yes.
and not get the benefits of actually walking and living life with God Himself. That's so much so that you're saturated with His presence everywhere you walk. I mean,
come on.
I'm saying you used to be an old dog out on the street. Now I've been in the house alone. You know, you go to somebody's house, and you know how some people's house you can just has a certain smell about it. You just, you know, I'm not saying necessarily bad, but some people just have smells, right? I'm saying I want to be in the house alone. When I walk by, somebody say, "You've been at the house." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we got to get this thinking about who He is and what He's really like, and get it down in us so much so, because we've heard so much of this stuff that subconsciously even will resist. You sing the songs and everything and go through all the motions, but still there's condemnation down inside of you, and there's some distance down inside of you, and say, yeah, and you'll subconsciously resist the things of God. You'll push away the closeness. You push away healing, and deep down condemnation. Subconsciously you say, I don't deserve it. And you'll harbor and hang on to sickness and disease. And self-destruct yourself in all kinds of... See it every day, don't you? I'm saying, let's get on in the house and let's be free. Yeah, we went through whatever out there. He can turn that stuff around and use that scar for His glory, and say, I wouldn't be where I heard Todd White, I think, said, I don't know about this, so you just take it as that, as what it is. You know, whatever. He said, whenever I see the devil, he said, I'm going to run right up to him and thank him. He said, I wouldn't be half the man of God I am without your interference. I'm saying God can use all that stuff that we let condemn us and keep us thinking that we're unqualified and not good enough. I'm going to tell you, the only qualification to be one of these misfits that I'm talking about, the only qualification to be a warrior for God and to watch this stuff go down and to not just be religious and sit on the front row somewhere and sing Kumbaya. If you're interested in that, this ain't the place for you. You'll be awfully uncomfortable. But if you're interested in knowing God and becoming like God, and let His power and life transform us into sons of God, to where we demand the will of God for as it is in heaven, here on the earth, to make sure that happens. We just got to get our thinking right. We got to know God, know what He's really like. That's all I'm saying tonight. Know. You can know God. Jesus made a way for us to know God. Jesus made a way for us to know God.
Yes.
The more you know Him, the more grace is multiplied. The more you know Him, the more peace is multiplied. Now let's be honest. Who in the world, I mean, even if you don't even believe in God and you thumbed your nose at Him your whole life, who in the world would say no to more grace and more peace?
Yes, that's right.
Anybody here want more grace and more peace?
Yes.
You're not going to work for it. You're not going to get good enough for it. You're not going to throw enough money in the bucket or teach Sunday school or... No. It's going to come by knowing Him. And it's my goal, and it's my prayer, and it's my dream for you all. Not just be coming here on Thursday night and listen to me ramble on. I don't want this group to be one of those people out there that they think, well, they go to church, but they're really no different than anybody else, and just where they hang out or whatever. I don't know. They don't really even know what love is. They really don't even know what God's really like. I see it every day. It's sad. That's why I do what I do. In the face of ridicule and accusations and whatever else, I don't care. I done been in the house. It's worth it.
Come on.
It's worth it. If this many people right here walk out them doors and go live life every day on your workplaces knowing God, that's what I'm talking about. I ain't interested in where you go to church or this or that or phooey. What if this many people right here show up at work tomorrow knowing God, smelling like they've been in the house? And then here you meet somebody starving and hungry and got scars and been mistreated and kicked to the curb. Then you know what you got? You got some good news. Hey, I can tell you where you can go. You can get fed up, healed up, doctored up, loved up. I don't know. Everybody good? Yeah. You guys, here's what I want. You guys come sing something. Play something, because here's what's gonna happen. You guys know we do stuff different around here. I don't ever. It's like I know we're all a bunch of hardheads, and so part of this is I trained horses for a living for 20 years, and I trained cow horses. And cow horses, cattle were smart, and you'd work them a couple times, and they'd figure out if they just stood there, you wouldn't work them no more. Buffalo were different than cattle. Buffalo, they're going to work the same like it's the first day every time. I mean, I don't know if they were really smart or really dumb. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure which way it was. But what I'm saying is, you weren't gonna force a buffalo to do anything. Now you could give him options and somehow figure out a way to make what you wanted to be the best option, and they would choose that. Follow me? I don't never ask you or beg you or do none of that or what. I just say, here's some good stuff. Get it if you want. See you. And more happens that way. I guess y'all are like a bunch of buffalo. It's like reverse psychology, kind of. Here's what I'm saying. I'm done. They're going to sing. Don't just jump up and run out. I mean, if you got to go, go. I'm not saying. But I'm saying this while they sing. You think about where you're at. If you're still out there laying under the bush. Or if you've been in and out. It's okay. It's okay. He really does love us. Love is not self-seeking. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not take into account a wrong suffered. Uh-oh. I'm just saying, wherever you're at while they're singing, just in your own heart. You ain't got to do nothing. You ain't got to go nothing. You ain't got to do nothing. You just sit there in your own heart while they sing. You can come right on in the house if you want to, or you can just go on and get healed if you want to.
Yeah.
Let Him love on you. Remember last week? Quit resisting and let God love you. Let God be good. Tell this little Pharisee in your head to sit down and be quiet. His opinion is no longer relevant. Everybody good? Yeah. Anybody want some of it? Yeah. Anybody want some more? Yeah. I know this is basic, but you can't hear it too much. Anybody want some more? Yeah. All right. Love y'all.
Love you.